What are the systems and habits that help the agent stay focused on these best clients?
There's a couple of very simple ones. One would be a messaging filter. Okay. So if you have a messaging filter on your computer screen, on your wall, on your cell phone screen or whatever that tells you nothing goes out that represents me, and your business might be just you or you and your wife or husband or whatever, or 27 agents, doesn't matter. Nothing goes out that represents us that does not include A, B, and or C, whatever it is. You have to determine that, and you can determine it through some of the things we said before. What are you gifted at? What could you study for the rest of your career and enjoy? What do you have some aptitude? What's not all that competitive? Where is there enough transactional volume and low enough competition? There's metrics for all that. And again, we'll go into 2 days of that at the conference, but I'm trying to give it all to you in the time we have. But if you have a messaging filter that says nothing goes out that unless it includes neighborhoods and homes on land, then everything you do is just layering another brick in the wall. I call them little landmines of opportunity. We put out another opportunity, somebody could trip that, boom, blow it up, buyer or seller. Boom, blow it up, great agent. Boom, blow it up, opportunity to be interviewed about that area of expertise. Contribute to a blog, YouTube channel, whatever. So one is a messaging filter that's very simple. You could probably put one together in an hour and then refine it for the rest of your career, right? And then 2 is like an audit. If I was a stranger in a Google incognito window, if you don't know what that is, Google it, and I went looking for you, what would I then think about you? So if I look it up and I'm like, all I really know is you're a real estate agent in Austin. I don't see anything that says dockable waterfront. I see that you have 4 active listings and they're in 4 completely different parts of town, 4 completely different types of property. I don't really know. Okay, so now how do I start to move that needle? How do I redo that audit once a month and see if strangers start to see me as more of a specialist? If I'm asking for reviews, I want those reviews to include language about what I'm specializing in. That's indexable. That's searchable. That's where most people are going to see me first or second, maybe third. What's on my website? What's in my email campaigns? What's in my email signature? If I have business cards, what's on it? If I have a sign out front, what's on it? If I do events, is there signage? Are there stickers? Are there shirts? Are there hats? You could go, if you're in a right market with the right number, you go 30 days from no one knew to most people know. It is impossible to get to everybody knows.
There is marketing terminology that has made it out into pop culture, right? When people say that's on brand, it's basically probably a marketing. I mean, obviously we say that, but that's on message would be another, more like marketing PR way of saying it. And so I like the idea of like, you could write this out and be like, okay, this is my messaging guide. In fact, we should probably just start saying like, instead of you could do this, you just go to your AI of choice and say, I need to develop a brand messaging guide. And like, this is what I think about myself. And it will help you write that. No problem. Right. You're gonna
and then continue to refine that going forward. But yeah, brand guide, messaging filter, whatever you want to call that, start very simple.
Yep.
And you can refine it. But I don't make it so. Now, there's going to be some different channels have some different layers and rules, right? Every single social media post for the next 20 years doesn't need to say, and I specialize in, right? But it can hint and indicate in the background or what, whatever. But that's what you're starting.
Let me actually opine on this for a second.
Okay.
I like to, there are things that you say blatantly, and then there are things that are themes that you let people pick out. Right. And so you don't, if you, this could be elements of like the way that your brand is put together, right? That you don't have to like hammer everything directly. There could be things that are like, this is our broad theme, but we never say it like exactly that this is how it is. Right. And so like, I would encourage people to think about like, what is the unavoidable message that they will get like being around your brand, but that you are never going to say directly. Right. Which is different from the things that are always going to be like, let's say you're doing, text ads or something like that. It's always going to be in your ads because it is absolutely central to your message.
Yeah. And there's a lot that is better caught than taught. Right. So I think you asked me last time I was on, can't remember what the question was, but my answer was the two things that we want our brand associated with. Now, brand's a tricky word, and I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but I always say expertise and fun, right? We're not saying to the world, we're experts and we're fun, but those are the two, those are the indirect things that we want association with, right? So indirectly, we want to model that. We want people to catch that while we do the things that are direct, like talk about homes on land and neighborhoods, right? While we model our expertise, instead of saying we are experts, we're going to show our expertise. Instead of saying we are fun, we're going to show our fun. But a messaging filter would be one of those action steps. Getting your area of specialization mentioned in reviews, that's one of those action items, right? Doing an audit of what does this stranger see if they Google me or Google the things I want to be found when people are Googling. If they Google Dockable Waterfront Austin, that's not my name or my brand, but how do I get found? And then what do they see? Because they're not finding this when they do that, but they're finding that about me when they do that. So what's there? So that's that audit process. And you could come back and do that every 30 days. And just your commitment is that we're going to get better and better and better every 30 days, every 30 days, every 30 days, every 30 days. These are action steps. Some of them are immediate, like I changed my email signature and my banner on my website where I'm sending a bunch of paid traffic. And then others are subtle, indirect, over time, trust building, earn momentum, organic, whatever. And we could go on and on and on for hours. Like, to your point, what's direct, what's indirect? What's the primary messaging? What's some of that secondary messaging? Is there tertiary messaging? What do I do for past clients? What do I do for active clients? What do I do for preferred ideal prospects? And what do I do for the whole audience, the whole town? Different things, different budgets of time, energy, and money. And this doesn't have to all be about marketing. Some of it is about your desire, your passion, your excitement. What are you already doing that you love doing that's easy that could help you build a specialized brand?